For this video, we're going to learn how to use the Quick Report Editor. To change things, we're going to move our database to a Mac. First, we'll exit 4D. Then we'll copy our first database onto a file exchange. And then we'll switch to a Mac. On the Mac, we'll find the file that we transferred on Windows Exchange, which is actually a package whose contents can be displayed. The contents contain the structure, the data, the index files, and so on. To start an application on the Mac, you can drag either the 4D base file or the 4DB file like you do on Windows. Let's drag the file onto an instance of 4DB13. On startup, without any conversion whatsoever taking place, we'll see the window as we programmed it with the possibility of seeing all the technicians, all the interventions, and so on. The main interest in establishing a database is to store data. For the moment, we've done this by displaying data on screen in a form that was predefined by the programmer. However, in many cases, your users may want to adapt their data extractions to particular needs not specified in the specifications or on an ad hoc basis. The Quick Report Editor quickly meets this need. You can use it to display data from the current selection, in other words, the results of a previously performed query. You can open the Quick Report Editor from the toolbar or by programming it. We're going to copy the contents of the Query button and insert it into the Report button while replacing Query with QR Report. QR Report Technicians, Character 1, True, 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 which takes 5 parameters: the table name, the document name, or we can press Character 1 so that it displays the standard Quick Report Editor, then 3 more parameters that we're going to set to true. The first allows hierarchical navigation using relations, the second allows for a wizard, and the third lets you perform a complementary search in the Quick Report Editor. Of course, we're also going to adapt the Technicians table. We click on the Technicians button, All, then Report. The screen consists of 4 areas. The top part with a menu bar, toolbar, and a gray rectangle for configuring the columns. The green area where you can choose a table, perform a query, set the report type, or open the wizard. The Fields column for the selected table, and the column for sort orders. To quickly produce a report, double-click on the names of the fields. They will appear in the upper part. Then choose Print Preview either using the button or from the File menu. On macOS, print previews are automatically done in PDF, and on Windows, they are in XPS. To choose the sort order, drag one or more fields to the sorting area. You'll notice that a subtotal row is displayed in the area for each sort criteria that you add. In subtotal rows, you can add summary calculations by right-clicking on the intersection where the row and column meet. To go further using this editor, we're going to change pages and display the list of interventions. We can perform a search before using the Quick Report Editor, but we can also do so directly from the editor. The calculation that we're going to perform concerns the number of interventions made by technicians for a given period. So first, we're going to search the interventions for the desired period, for example, December 2011. Intervention dates past 1/12/11, intervention dates before 31/12/11. In the query, we get 314 records out of 11,732. Now we double-click on Technician Initials, added to the upper part of the screen, and Object. If we print the form as it now stands, we'll get a list of 314 records for December 2011. But what we want is to get the number of interventions for each technician. So first of all, we need to sort by technician by dragging the Technician Initials field into the sort area. A subtotal line is added to the upper part of the screen where we can add calculations. We also drag the Object field as the second sort criteria, which lets us get the distribution of interventions per technician. A second subtotal is also added. Printing will give us the same list as before, but sorted by the specific criteria. Since we have not indicated anything in the subtotal rows, they do not appear on the screen. To count the number of interventions, just right-click on one of the columns in the Technician Initials subtotal row and choose Count. When it's printed, this row now appears with the number of interventions per technician. 44 interventions for the same technician. We can do the same thing for the object subtotal row, and we get 10 training sessions, then 9, and so on for a total of 44 interventions for the technician. The detail rows don't really concern us. We can right-click on the title of the detail row to hide it. Only the subtotal rows are printed. To indicate that the body is hidden, its row is filled in with a gray grid. During printing, we can see the distribution, but since we have hidden the detail row, we can no longer see which technician and which object go with these values. To find out, we can just type the hash symbol in the subtotal rows. Let's begin with the technician. We can now see the name of the technician next to the number of interventions. We can do the same with the object. First click, second click, hash. When we print it, we can see that it now corresponds to what we wanted, the number of interventions divided by the type of intervention and with the total of each technician. The Quick Report Editor is a powerful tool where we can add and modify columns, perform program calculations, and then send the resulting reports not only to a printer, but also, for example, to a disk file. A system dialog box lets you name your file and choose its location. We find the export, and if we open it with a text editor or a spreadsheet, the information is all there.